April 1st, we open the month with a full moon. It's full moon in Libra, and those are always about the culmination, stuff coming to a completion, coming to light. Libra is the sign of relationships, balance, partnership. So it doesn't just mean romantic either. This can be your friendships, your business partners, your family dynamics. It's just anything in the realm of how you connect with other people could reach turning points during this full moon. So you could be gaining a new perspective on a relationship that's been confusing you. And clarity doesn't always feel wonderful. You might realize something you've been tolerating that just isn't really working anymore in your life. You might finally see clearly how much something or someone actually means to you. It could be the closing of a chapter, something completing. And with that, there's always an opening. So if stuff starts to shift in your relationship or your life in this time, just trust it. It's meant to bring you clarity. And ask yourself, what have I been seeing clearly lately about the people in my life? What do I need to acknowledge about where my relationships are? Not where I wish they were, but where they actually are. And this can be either way. Don't think that this automatically has to mean I need to find what's wrong with mine. Maybe yours has become more magical than you realize. And maybe that's what you need to notice and acknowledge. And then on April 9th, this is what we've all been waiting for. Mars has been in Pisces and it's going to shift into Aries. So, and Mars is the planet of action, drive, ambition, desire. It's like it goes after what it wants. And so, since Mars has been in Pisces since March 2nd, it's like putting a fire warrior in like a fog, because Pisces is like dreamy, it's intuitive, it's slow, it's meandering. It's the one thing about me that drives my honey nuts. I love the meandering energy. But Mars is not meandering. So, in the Pisces, you could have felt a little more confused, a little less motivated, like your drive was there, but it was underwater. Like maybe you were having a harder time taking decisive actions or things felt kind of wishy-washy. It's like things are getting started, but not quite there yet. So, but when it moves into Aries on the 9th, this is coming home for Mars. So this is the sign that Mars actually rules. It's its natural habitat. So you're going to definitely feel the difference. So the astrological new year actually starts on March 20th, and that's when Aries season began. But Mars entering Aries is like even more ignition. So you're going to feel even more. You might have already felt stuff like kind of starting to flow a little bit, like it's probably because it's spring or whatever stories we tell ourselves about why things feel better. Which this could be a story too. I don't think it is. Shit's always so accurate. It's just like, oh, I should have came here first. I thought what was happening was real. Oh. So, but anyway, it's going to be that push behind the momentum. It's that difference, like between wanting to start something and actually starting it. So, like, for example, if you've got a project that you've kind of been circling around, you've been putting it off, you're kind of like half-heartedly like, I think I might want to start this. Well, when Mars goes into Aries, that's when it just starts. There's no waiting, there's no confusion. It's also a good time for dating. So that's relevant for you, which I don't think any people on the call right at this moment are interested in any kind of dating. But people watching it later could definitely be interested in dating. So, because Mars last month in the Pisces energy just it's dreamy, it's confused, it's watery, so it's like more cautious, it's more passive. And Aries is just bold, so it makes the move. So embrace it. The thing to watch out for, though, with Mars in Aries is it wants results now. It makes us feel very impatient. I am experiencing some impatience already. It wants things to move faster. So don't try to force it. This energy is here to help you begin, but not to guarantee your results. So ask yourself, what have I been waiting to start? What action am I ready to take that I've actually been holding back on? And then April 15th, we actually have a few planets moving into Aries, which is what's going to make this whole thing feel a lot different. So Mercury enters Aries, and that's when we're going to start experiencing more mental clarity. So, because Mercury's the planet of thought, communication, and decision making, and it's been in Pisces since February 6th, which is a really long time. Which, when I saw this, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Mercury in Pisces is uncomfortable. Mercury likes clarity and logic and linear thinking. This combination makes decisions feel harder. We're talking about how Mercury has been in Pisces, but it's coming into Aries, April 15th. So, and Pisces, it's intuitive and nonlinear and emotional. So this combination is what was making decisions feel hard. It's what was making communication feel really murky. Murky. And then you add in that Mercury retrograde we had during that time, because that Mercury retrograde is looking back. So you're all foggy and looking at the past. So we were really feeling kind of indecisive and second guessing ourselves, maybe going around in circles. Well, that changes April 15th. So it's going to kind of probably feel like somebody opened up the window, or like maybe spring really started. So the fog will kind of clear, your thinking's going to feel sharper, your communication may get bolder. Aries wants you to say what you mean. It wants you to make a decision and move. It's direct, it's action-oriented, and it's confident. So if you've been sitting on a decision that you haven't been able to make clearly about a relationship, career, conversation, April 15th, do it then. It should have some support there and some more clarity. And then with Mars in Aries, you'll have the drive too to go along with that more clear thinking with Mercury in Aries. And then the next day, April 16th, is going to be a tender day. We're going to have the Sun conjunct Chiron. So, and for anyone who doesn't know, Chiron is the wounded healer. It's the place that holds our deepest wounds. It's the thing we most want to hide. The place we feel most tender and insecure. It's often our sense of like our worth. Like, am I enough? Am I lovable? Do I deserve to be seen? And those wounds can be old and quiet, running in the background of our lives without us even realizing it. And then when the sun, which represents our identity, our sense of self, our visibility, aligns with Chiron, it shines a light directly on that wound. So that's what makes you feel maybe more emotional than usual, maybe more raw, a little more sensitive to criticism, or feeling unseen or unworthy. So it's not really a day to like hide away from this. This helps us heal, And in Aries, the wound will be specifically around identity. So it'll be around who you are, what you deserve, your right to take up space and be seen for who you truly are. So like a real life example, let's say, for example, your partner cancels plans last minute. You feel devastated, way more devastated than the situation seems to call for. What's actually happening is that old wound got touched. Maybe it's fear of abandonment. Maybe it's feeling like you're not a priority. That external situation isn't the real issue. It's the internal wound that's asking to be seen. So this is a day that can help us. What to do on a day like this? Just don't try to push through or dismiss what you're feeling. Slow down. Name it, I feel unworthy when, or I'm afraid that. Great language around it is actually what heals it. You can also use this day for genuinely healing conversations with like a trusted friend or even just yourself in a journal. The wound is surfacing. That means it can be released. So you're not stuck in it. The 16th. This will be the 16th. This is not a day to white knuckle. It's a day to be gentle. So you guys get a freebie. As you're supposed to. Y'all get a freebie. So, and, this can really set us up for the next day. April 17th, we'll have the new moon in Aries. This was where we'll be planting our seeds, So we were like kind and we held space and we did lots of pausing and spa daying or whatever. Whatever Miss Caitlin's doing in all of her life right now. Love how she's taking care of herself. So the day after this Chiron tender moment is when we'll have the new moon in Aries. So it's another potent new moon. Just because of everything that's been building this year, because of all the celestial weather that's changing this whole year to make next year so different. So, you'll have Mars, Mercury, the Sun, and the Moon all in the sign of initiation and courage on this day. So it's like getting a clean slate and a full tank of gas all at the same time. It's a very powerful moon. It's your moment to get clear on what you want to call in, especially around your identity, how you show up in the world, and what you're willing to commit to for yourself. Not for someone else, for you. So you can ask yourself, who am I becoming? What do I want to begin? What am I willing to fight for? Not in a conflict sense, but in like a noble warrior sense, like what's worth my energy and commitment. Set intentions on this day, write them down, be specific. The Aries energy loves a clear target, so give it one. I'll remind you guys too on the new moon when it comes up in the community, so no worries about that. And then I found this to be really interesting. Taurus season is beginning, like right as we start our coming home to ourselves intensive week. The universe just so supports us, doesn't it? I'm going to support myself and drink water. Because Taurus season's kind of like a slow down and ground, and we'll want that to go into the Venus sequence, So after all that fire and momentum, Taurus is going to come in and say, let's get grounded. Let's slow down and let's actually enjoy what we're building. This is the energy of stability, comfort, pleasure, the body, the senses. It's asking you to tend to yourself, to eat nourishing things, to rest, to appreciate what you have. And after the intensity of the Aries season, it's going to be a welcome exhale. An exhale for you. Okay, so I do want to go back to the Venus Chiron story. And talk about it because I think it's kind of threading through this whole season, and I think it also continues kind of into Taurus season. So Venus is the planet of love, relationships, beauty, and self-esteem. And Chiron is our deepest wound. So when these two planets align, as they're doing in Aries, it's specifically bringing up wounds around love and intimacy. So where do you feel most insecure when you're trying to connect with someone? Where have you been overcompensating or shutting down? Where is there old fear or rejection or abandonment that's still living inside of you? In Aries, this shows up around commitment. So it's like, where are you staying committed to something out of habit or fear rather than because it's actually aligned with who you are? So Aries is the warrior, and the wounded Chiron's been pointing to is like, are you fighting for the right things? Because Aries will fight, but are they fighting for the right things? Are your commitments serving your authentic self? So, and then as Venus and Chiron are going to move into Taurus, this conversation deepens more into worthiness. Am I enough? Do I deserve love? Is it safe to receive? Which is so fascinating that we're going into the Venus sequence. We're so supported. So, and I just want to say it's not important. I think it's important to understand Chiron is not about showing you the wound to make you suffer. This is like, you can see all my shit. It's showing you the wound because that's where your medicine is. The healer's greatest gift comes from the place they've most had to heal. Whatever is coming up for you in your relationships right now, whatever is making you feel raw or exposed or rejected is not a punishment. It's an initiation. Another example, say you're triggered by something your partner did, your first instinct is to figure out why they did it, to analyze them, to want them to understand your perspective and see that they were wrong. What Chiron is asking instead is, can you turn that lens inward? What is this bringing up in me? What old story is being activated? When I feel this way, what am I most afraid is true about me? Because the other person, they're just a mirror. They're reflecting something back at you that's already inside you. And the sooner you can stop trying to fix or change them and start being curious about yourself, the sooner that wound starts to heal. And I say it all the time, my goal is to become #unbotherable. So as we heal these wounds, those are our buttons. They're just buttons. It's just wounds that are seeking your attention. So get curious about them and stop trying to change the outside. That's what this energy's asking for, not me. Don't think I'm the boss. And then April 24th, which is right about the time we'll be finishing up the intensive, Venus will enter Gemini, and this is light, curious, playful kind of love. So the connections can get lighter, they'll get more curious, more playful, because Gemini loves to talk, to flirt, to explore, to learn. So this is going to bring a fun and communicative flavor to your love life and social world. This will be a great time for the interesting conversations we'll be having in the intensive, to be making new connections, to start keeping things light and curious rather than all the heavy and seriousness we had done all week. And then we got Uranus doing a big one on April 26th. I think a lot of people have been talking about this one for a while too, because Uranus is slow. Let me see. It moves really slow, and it's the planet of revolution. Lindsay probably knows. Disruption, liberation, and sudden change. And Gemini is communication, information, technology, the mind, and connection. So when you put these two together, you get a complete revolution in how information flows. How we think, how we learn, how we connect. We're already seeing it. The last time Uranus was in Gemini was World War II, when the atom bomb was created. Before that, it was the Civil War. Before that, the Revolutionary War. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just saying that this historically corresponds with like enormous, rapid change in how humans communicate and what we do with that information. Which, right now, if you look at it, it's AI. You know, we have the speed of information, we have fragmentation of what's true and what isn't. So this transit will be turbocharging all of that for like 7 years. So like all the like, can't tell what's real and what isn't. And at first I was like, well, I don't know how much more of that I want. But I was like, well, the more we get, the more we'll be able to figure out what's actually real and what's not. So we're just gonna do some more learning. And we're gonna have to keep learning because it's gonna get better and better, you know? So we're gonna have to stay on top of figuring out what's real and what's not. So, but the shadow of Uranus in Gemini is the weaponization of the information. This is where words become ammunition, where the algorithms start manipulating minds even more, where everyone's living in their own separate truth bubble and the real dialogue can become really impossible. So you're going to see that. But then there's also the light side of this, which is pretty extraordinary, you know? It's communication that can bridge worlds, technology that can actually connect rather than isolate. You know, it's new ways of thinking that allow people with completely different worldviews to find common ground. It can be a revolution in how we learn and how we share. So, what it means for you personally is that your voice matters in a completely new way. So, what you're putting out, how you're using your mind, your words, your communication, it's contributing to the collective frequency that we're all swimming in. So, are you using your voice to divide or to bridge? Are you staying curious about people who think differently from you? Are you only consuming what confirms what you already believe? This isn't just like abstract philosophy either. These are like practical daily choices. And Uranus and Gemini is going to keep asking that same question for 7 years. So let's see. Let's pull it all together and let's just talk about April as a big whole, right? I would say it's like a month of like emergence, like coming out of the fog that you might have felt like you've been in for months. It's probably Jamie's probably really relating to this. So, Mercury in Pisces was keeping things Mercury, and Mars in Pisces was keeping things slow. So now, one by one, these planets are going to move into Aries. The clarity is going to return, the motivation is going to return, and the courage is going to return. And it's not just external motivation or momentum. April's asking you to do some real inner work, specifically around how you see yourself, what you believe you deserve, and whether the commitments and relationships in your life are aligned with who you actually are. And Chiron is the thread here. That wounded healer is threading this whole season and it's asking you, what are you hiding? What wound are you walking around with? Pretending like it isn't there. Because it's affecting your relationships, your confidence, and your ability to fully show up for your life. So the invitation of April is not to fix everything or figure everything out, it's to face it. It's to have the Aries courage to look at what's actually there in your relationships, in your own heart, and to take one honest, aligned step forward. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing to see it clearly and move. April is asking you to be both tender and brave. That's the Chiron Aries medicine. Feel it and move anyway. Now that I'm done talking to myself, that was all for me, if you couldn't tell. No.